Hey my dudes, welcome to What's a SmackDown. We are your hosts Tasha and Corey, and we're here to talk all things WWE. Well, it's been interesting since Royal Rumble.
Very interesting, yeah.
Can you believe the reception that Charlotte Flair has gotten?
Crazy.
Oh my god, no one was happy with that. But as if you weren't expecting that from if she came back, like seriously.
Yeah.
I think everybody knew that, like I said, Triple H was about breaking a record and she was the one to take it. So I know a lot of people were disappointed with that. They don't want to see her in WrestleMania.
No.
Why? But she's a really good wrestler.
I think so too.
She is. But I mean, I get the whole we want someone new, give them a chance.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're not going to bring Charlotte Flair back.
Yeah.
Just to have her lose. That wasn't going to happen.
That's right.
So, yeah, her reception's been quite interesting.
Yeah, very.
But I think she's just embracing it and just rolling with it.
Absolutely.
And she's just going back to, like, bitch Charlotte.
Yeah, looks like
and just like, going with it. So, it is what it is. What'll be interesting to see is who she picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I think, I don't know. I think maybe best out of three with her and Rhea Ripley would be interesting to see.
Yeah, probably would be pretty interesting.
I just don't know what her and Tiffy could be like.
Yeah.
Would it be as good as seeing her and Rhea in the ring?
Yeah.
We know her and Rhea work well together. We've seen how they go together.
No, that's right.
So interesting to see who she's going to pick.
No,
and now Nia Jax has come and thrown a bit of a spanner in the works because she has a title match against Tiffy.
Next week?
Yeah. On SmackDown.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to beat Tiffy.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see Nia Jax as champion again.
She was just champion for a while.
She was.
You know what I mean?
She was.
So yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen. No, I agree with you. I agree. So interesting to see who Charlotte Flair picks.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Jade. Now, for a lot of people, oh my God, Jade winning the Royal Rumble was completely, like, mind-blowing. No one was expecting that. Now, some people are behind it, and some people are not. I personally think it's good for Jay. The one thing I didn't like hearing was that Netflix had a say in it. So now that this is the Netflix era, Netflix actually, supposedly Netflix had said, we want Jay to win the Royal Rumble because he's good for ratings. Now, if that is the case, as happy as I am for Jay, I think that's bullshit. It shouldn't be under those circumstances. Why does Netflix, an organization that has really no understanding of wrestling and the history of wrestling, why are they making calls about who gets to win?
True.
How do you feel about it, my dudes? I'm not really for it.
No.
I'm happy for Jay. I'm super happy for Jay. And I definitely have been saying for a long time, I think Jay deserves a title shot, but it shouldn't be under these circumstances.
I agree.
So, I guess Jay's got big decisions to make. Jay versus Cody.
Mm-hmm. Jay probably should try and expand his, set of moves before WrestleMania too.
I think if Jay versus Cody, I don't think he'll win.
Yeah. I don't know if he can beat Gunther, to be honest.
I think he can.
I think he
can.
But I don't know if he will.
Again, when we talk about this, I suppose we have to understand that Triple H calls the shots.
No, that's right.
And I feel like it's more believable that Jay's going to beat Gunther than Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I guess that's how I feel about that. But I feel like Cody Rhodes is declining in terms of popularity.
Yeah, he's not as popular.
No, he's not really. I think everyone, like we said last time, everyone wanted to see him finish his story, and they did.
Yeah.
And now
he's just died off a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like the story's done now, so
yeah.
Cody's just not really holding it like I guess people thought he would have.
I think he'll lose at WrestleMania.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think it should be Cody versus Jay.
Yeah.
I just don't think so. And with the threat Gunther came out and made towards Jay, I feel like Jay has to pick Gunther.
Yeah.
He has to.
I know what you mean.
If you've seen what happened on Raw, Gunther came out and he basically said to Jay, if you pick me, I am going to make it hell for you every single week leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
and basically threatened him into not picking him. But why? Why try to scare him like that?
Because he said that if he versus him at WrestleMania, Gunther said if he beats Jay, then it's nothing really to put on his resume.
He said that. No, he did say that. He did say he doesn't care.
So it's nothing special, you know what I mean? Like, he's a nobody, really, is what he's saying.
But Gunther says this about a lot of people.
No, he does. Well, he lost to Sami Zayn at last year's WrestleMania, so
Well,
Jay can definitely beat
if
Gunther.
Sami Zayn is
Can
going to
beat
be
Gunther.
someone who's beating Gunther, then why can't Jay?
Yeah, exactly.
Just for me, like, Gunther's not really that dude either.
I think he's only lost about 4 or 5 times in his whole wrestling career.
Yeah, but in his whole wrestling career as WWE,
Yeah.
like, he's not really been around that long.
5 years?
That's not really that long, though.
No, it's
5
not.
years is not a long time when we talk about how long a wrestler's been around for.
Well, I think the longest reigning Intercontinental was maybe like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe nearly 2 years.
Who
or
held
something.
that? Do you know?
I think the longest reigning was... I think it was the Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
The last time I seen the Honky Tonk Man was when they had him come into Royal Rumble back in the
2001.
Attitude Era.
Best
Yeah,
Royal ever.
back in the
Yes.
Attitude Era. And
It's awesome.
only my old school wrestling fans are going to know what we're talking about here.
Mhm,
If you're
mhm.
new and are just tuning in because it's on Netflix now, you're going to have no clue what we're on about. Especially when we go back to the days of the Attitude Era. Only the true wrestling fans are going to know these things. Now,
Absolutely.
this is a little bit of just touching base on like Netflix having a say in Jay.
Yeah.
Could we lose true wrestling fans if Netflix has too much of a say in what happens?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think it definitely.
I think that could be bad for wrestling because a lot of these people who are not really wrestling fans who are just tuning in because of I Show Speed is getting like speared or something like that, these people aren't regular on wrestling. They're not.
Mm-mm.
And we really only started seeing I Show Speed because of Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And a lot of wrestling fans don't respect Logan Paul. They don't take him in as, because where is he half the time? I think Logan Paul has potential to be a good wrestler,
Yeah.
but he doesn't take it seriously enough and he doesn't commit enough.
No.
Now, the point I'm making here is a lot of these people tuning in on Netflix because they support YouTubers don't actually like wrestling.
That's right. That's right. And the difference with Logan Paul is every other wrestler, let's say, is working their ass off every single night to try and be a world champion to get the biggest paycheck, whereas he's already like a multi-millionaire, so he couldn't.
Oh, he doesn't care. That's right.
Whenever he rocks out.
Exactly.
Whenever he wants. And
Exactly.
back on like the Netflix fans too, like you're saying, like getting more Netflix fans. Like I think that it is bad in the long run because, you know, the difference between real wrestling fans and just Netflix fans is real wrestling fans. You know, they might be like, oh, not really interested on what's happened this week. I'm just gonna check in next week. And
Exactly.
so Netflix fan will be like, oh, I'm over this. I'm not watching it anymore. And they'll
Exactly.
be completely done with it and won't ever watch it again.
Exactly.
That's the difference. You
It
know
is
what I
a
mean?
difference. It is a difference. That's the problem.
You know
I
what
feel
I mean?
like, but I feel like Netflix people who don't actually follow wrestling are going to jump in with this very misunderstanding of what it is, especially after watching the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not really understand that not every week is like Royal Rumble.
No, exactly.
It doesn't look like that.
That's
Royal
right.
Rumble is a main event.
Yeah.
That's why we have people like I Show Speed getting just thrown in. These are done for a reason.
Yeah, and Travis Scott walking out with Jey Uso.
That doesn't happen every week,
No,
my dudes.
it's
Like,
once,
I don't ever see Travis Scott on wrestling, ever. His song is the song for wrestling at the moment.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, too, just touching on the songs. This is a little bit off topic about what's been happening in wrestling world, my dudes. But I love rap music. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. I make it. I've been listening to rap for a long time. I love, you know, old school rap artists like Bone Thugs, Tupac, DMX, like, you know, Dr. Dre, you know, Eminem. I love rap music. However, I don't think rap music suits wrestling.
No, I agree.
What happened to the heavy metal? Like,
Yeah.
that gets you pumped.
Yeah.
That suits wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like back in the day, like if you watch old wrestling and you go back to the Attitude Era and you watch wrestling, you will see that a lot of the music for wrestling was metal. That's what it was. And it just worked so much better. The whole rap thing, it's not working.
No, not at all.
What
Not
do
at
you
all.
dudes think? What do my old school wrestling fans think about rap music now as part of wrestling and to get you pumped before a match? Do you feel it? What do you think of it as the cover song for
I
wrestling?
mean, Travis Scott's song is Raw's song.
I
You what
know, yeah.
And then is it Megan Thee Stallion's is SmackDown?
And, like, sure, if you want to dance, that's cool. But no.
I know that it's really, you really notice it, like, on Raw and SmackDown, it's like, it's sort of just in the background, you're like, whatever, like, it doesn't work, but whatever. Like, you can, I guess, deal with it a little bit, because it's not sort of in your face. Whereas, you watch, like, a main event, like a pay-per-view, and they do all the promos, it's like, man, why are you showing me this promo with, like, a Travis Scott song? Like,
yeah.
I'm not hyped for this match at all.
No. No way.
No.
But if you're going to use rap, wouldn't it have made more sense to use gangster rap?
Yeah.
From, like, the 90s, early millennium, where that was actually more about getting you pumped up for those type of things.
Absolutely.
Whereas Travis Scott doesn't make gangster rap. Do you know what I mean? Megan Thee Stallion doesn't make gangster rap music. So their music doesn't really get me pumped up.
No.
And, like, maybe for the divas, Megan Thee Stallion's music works. I don't know. But I feel for rap as a whole, bring back heavy metal, please. I just think it works so much better. Like, look at Rhea Ripley. When her song is on, you're feeling pumped for that match. Am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Because her song is what I expect to hear with wrestling. I think the only time that you ever had a song that was kind of rap-ish that kind of really worked was when Undertaker came out as the American Badass and he had Roland. That worked.
That was rock rap, you know what I mean?
No, you're right. It still had that metal aspect to it. And I think we need that. Anyway, dudes, probably enough about that, but I just wanted to touch base on that. Because I feel like rap doesn't work. I suppose everything has to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm with that. But some things are better off suited to always remain the same.
Absolutely. And just before we get off the whole rap music being in wrestling subject, Judgment Day's new song, so awful.
My God.
I'm not sure if you've heard it yet.
No, I have.
It just does not work. It's just so awful. And it's like, that, like, you know, the last song was okay, but it was at least like a heavy metal song. Like, it worked for them.
Yeah.
Whereas now they come out like...
I even think, like, Air Sky's song is better than rap music. That's techno.
Yeah, I think Roman Reigns' song is better than rap music.
Do you know, listen, I love rap music. I'm not taking a stab at rap music. I absolutely love it.
I
like,
think
to
they work
death.
better in wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they work.
I totally agree.
Look at Roman Reigns' song, not one word in it. I think it works way better than any rap song.
Yeah.
That you could
but
use
look at
as a
all,
song.
like, if we go back, if we look at Triple H's old songs, like, do you know what I mean? Like, who did his? Rage Against the Machine. They did Triple H's music, and it was always pretty good, man. It was always pretty good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And it would get you pumped up, and you'd be feeling it. And I just think the music does matter a little bit. It does, you know what I mean? Like, we talk about some of the greatest songs we've ever heard in wrestling, like, for their entrance songs, and I feel like HBK is so up there.
Yeah.
Definitely. And like, his is not, you know, it's just one he did himself. But it's got a little bit of a rock beat in the, like, behind it, and it's so good.
I think of any, like, really good wrestlers
that use rap songs.
For their songs. So I think of all the good wrestlers, CM Punk, like, John Cena is one, but he does his own, like Shawn Michaels. Like, he actually does his own.
Yeah, that is true. But remember when he first came out and it was not happening?
No.
So when John Cena first started, nobody liked that persona. He had to really flip that.
Absolutely.
He still kept a bit of it, but the whole rap thing with him died off pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the wrestling world and rap world are different for a reason.
Yeah. And maybe if John Cena came out now as a rapper, it would be a lot different. Don't
you remember when R-Truth, because he does his own song and he raps it.
Yeah,
don't you remember when R-Truth used to come out and just... People like R-Truth a lot better nowadays, my dudes. I've got to say this. But he is that comedy in wrestling. But R-Truth back in the day, you know what I mean, when he was wrestling, he didn't really have a following behind him. He wasn't that dude for people. No. And the whole rap thing in wrestling just has never really worked. Like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, Disturbed does his song. Yeah. And Stone Cold's song always worked. It always worked 100%. So, I would just like to see a little bit less of... I think they're just trying to modernize wrestling too much. Yeah. But even rap music today has changed compared to what it was. You know, anyway, this podcast isn't about, like, what music is. But it is about wrestling, and it is aimed at diehard wrestling fans. That's who we're trying to speak with here. And new wrestling fans, of course, like, you're welcome. You know, you might not know as much about wrestling, and it's a good place for you to learn. And just, if you truly love wrestling, then of course, like, you know, but our diehard wrestling fans are going to see these changes, and they're the ones who are going to feel the way we feel, potentially,
That's right.
about these maybe minor changes to some people, okay? So, yeah, but back on it. So, Jay versus Gunther or Jay versus Cody Rhodes? Who's he going to pick?
I think it'd be Gunther.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Let's go Jay. And I think Jay's going to beat Gunther.
Yeah.
Just personally.
Yeah.
Now, we have discussed Royal Rumble. We don't want to make this about Royal Rumble anymore because it's on to the new. And the new is Elimination Chamber. So the past couple of episodes the episodes of the weekly show since Royal Rumble has been one episode of Raw and one episode of SmackDown. And they're focused very heavily on the qualifying matches for Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the women, we have qualifying already. It was Alexa Bliss just today on SmackDown. She beat Candice LeRae. I feel like that was a no-brainer that Alexa Bliss was going to beat her.
Yeah.
And of course, Alexa Bliss is back on SmackDown. Now, Alexa Bliss actually wasn't supposed to be the one coming into Royal Rumble. It was supposed to be Shotzi. But she didn't make it, so Triple H called Alexa Bliss last minute. She looks a bit rusty in the ring. I think you can tell that. But they reckon they're going to do something with Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, possibly. Liv Morgan beat Io Sky on Raw.
She did too, but that was so bullshit.
Cost her the match.
That was not cool. I was going for Io.
Me too.
So badly.
Big time.
Look, I think Liv's a good wrestler. I do. But I actually think maybe they're going to do something with Liv and Raquel as a tag team again. And maybe push them for that tag team title, perhaps. So. But with Liv having a shot in Elimination Chamber. But they've also got Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. So Bayley versus her. I'm going for Bayley. I think Bayley's going to win against Lyra.
Yeah, I hope Bayley wins.
Just personally.
Yeah.
I don't think Lyra Valkyria is going to beat her.
No, and Bianca Belair's already advanced. She beat Piper Niven.
She did too. That's right.
As well.
But I think that was a no-brainer as well.
Yeah. So we've got half for the women and half for the men.
Yeah.
But we'll get
so
to the men's
with the women, who's going to be in Elimination Chamber is going to be so far Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and then possibly Bayley. I think is going to be.
Yeah.
I think Bayley's going to fill the next place.
Possibly.
And then there's one. Oh, two more.
And Naomi's versus Chelsea Green next week.
Okay, why? Why Naomi? If we're talking about we want some new people to have a shot, that's why you're so mad about Charlotte Flair. Naomi's not new. Naomi's been around for a long time. Naomi used to wrestle all the time with Sasha Banks. Naomi's not new. And Naomi always needs to be carried. She always is with someone else. She's never really been a standalone chick. So why are we seeing Naomi again? And I know she's technically not in yet, but who do you think's going to win out of that?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I thought Naomi, but I know they're like with Chelsea Green too. She's a sneak. And she's always got
Piper could help her.
You know what I mean? But
Chelsea Green's the women's champ, like one of the
champions.
Yeah, she's one of the champions right now.
Yeah.
So why? I just feel like, I don't know, maybe she should be defending her title.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber.
That's what she should be doing.
Michin.
Yeah, Michin. Yeah, okay. But what about B-Fab? Yeah, what about B-Fab?
Triple threat.
There's a bit of a thing there, but B-Fab and Michin are friends.
Yeah.
So interesting. But they both seem to.
Want the title.
Yeah, exactly.
And Zelina Vega said she did too.
Yeah, she popped in. She did too.
So and straight away it's like, make it a four-way, man. You know, why not for the United States Championship?
Yeah.
For the women's,
well,
you know what I mean?
there's a few women that are looking like, you know, they could get it. And if we're wanting seeing some new faces, B-Fab is a new face.
Yeah.
Michin is a pretty new face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, let's look at these women before we look at, you know, Naomi potentially having a shot.
But even Chelsea Green's a lot newer than Naomi. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, Naomi's been around for a while.
Because the titles we're looking at here is, we've got Rhea, who's holding a title right now. We have Tiffy, who's holding a title right now. So they're the two that obviously we're looking at for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not Chelsea Green.
No.
She's not in the picture here.
We just have to figure out who Charlotte Flair is going to pick.
Well, Charlotte Flair wants to wait because if Nia Jax does beat Tiffy, that could change her whole who she's going to go with.
Absolutely.
Now, Tiffy come out and she's like, pick me, as so did Rhea Ripley. I didn't see NXT when Charlotte was on there.
No.
So I didn't see how that went down when she went with Julia. I had a look at Julia.
Yeah.
I don't really know what happened there. But Tiffy's been saying a lot of people are comparing her to Charlotte Flair. She's like Charlotte Flair. She's the next Charlotte Flair. I personally don't see it. I have not once looked at Tiffy and been like, oh, she's like Charlotte Flair.
No.
I have not seen that.
Not yet, no.
No. I haven't seen a lot of Tiffy either. I don't feel like Tiffy's really been pushed in our face like that. We were seeing a lot of her wrestling capabilities. The other thing I've seen Tiffy do that I was like, oh my God, she stole that from China.
That move? Was
her move, her little, cartwheel move. And I'm like, oh my God, that's China's move. So I'm not really seeing that she's trying to be like Charlotte Flair at this stage.
It's so crazy. Her and Jacob Fatu have the same finisher. The backflip.
Oh,
like they just
yeah.
both bounce up and do the backflip. Like probably, the softest woman on the roster and the craziest man on the roster.
That's crazy.
That's the same finisher.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
She's with Ludwig Kaiser, isn't she?
Yeah, as far as I know, she still is.
That's crazy.
It could have changed, but as far as last time I knew, yeah.
He looks way older than her. Like, that's just... I didn't expect that.
It
like,
blows my mind.
I just can't believe that. It's not ever what I... That's not ever a couple I envisioned. Like,
no.
But it is what it is. We're not here to talk about her love life.
That's right.
But it's just interesting to see if Charlotte Flair did pick her, would she bring out the best in her, do you think? Would it be one of those really memorable matches that Charlotte Flair is known for having?
I personally think that if she does pick Tiffy, I think it'll give her a good push, like Tiffy.
Well, because that's what Charlotte Flair said. She goes, you want me to pick you so I can make you a somebody. It's exactly what she said.
I agree with Charlotte Flair on that.
I do too. It will make Tiffy.
I think either way, Charlotte Flair could go to WrestleMania and versus Tiffy, and win or lose for Tiffy, I feel like people will still respect her for that match with Charlotte at WrestleMania. Well,
she's going to have to bring it. Everyone knows if you're going to wrestle against Charlotte Flair, the game is already, the stats are up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to bring it. And I think some of the best matches I've seen with Rhea Ripley have been with Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
Some of the best female matches I have seen, have had Charlotte Flair in them.
Absolutely.
Always.
That one with her and Rhea Ripley was awesome at WrestleMania.
It was probably one of the most memorable female WrestleMania matches I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It was so very
literally
good.
Stole,
it was so good.
I think it was night one, and it's literally stolen night.
100%.
I said that the other day, Michael Cole
So
said
good.
that. He said it was like, the
good.
best match of the
But I feel like Charlotte Flair coming back into Royal Rumble, that wasn't her finest. That's not the best I've seen her do.
No.
We didn't see a lot from her this Royal Rumble. And she came in at number 27.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low number.
No, yeah.
And that's why the odds of coming in at 27 favour so well for people. Because, man, you're right near the end. Like,
there's 3 more people to come in after you.
Exactly. Like, I really love when someone comes in at number 1 and then make it all the way.
Yeah,
and that is so good.
I
love when that happens. That hasn't happened in the women's yet, has it?
Oh, yeah, I think it has.
It has.
I think it has.
A woman's one who's been in at number 1.
I'm positive it's happened.
Yeah, okay.
Or maybe 2.
That's not number 1.
No, I know.
Yeah, well...
I have to check, but I think Bailey won from number 2 last year.
But still, it's not number
but
1. I mean, it's close.
I can't remember if
but
anyone's
it's
won
not
from
number
number 1.
1.
I'm not 100%. I'll have to check that.
I feel like, because I obviously remember a lot of Attitude Era days, where
Absolutely.
like, obviously The Rock, they tried to screw The Rock, and he came in at number 1, and he was 1 before. Stone Cold, they've done it too, do you know what I mean? So I remember more of those ones than a lot. I've seen so many pay-per-views, my dudes, and you begin to get them, like, mixed up, what happened when, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been watching for forever.
I
I feel like the dudes, we've seen that so much more, but again, Men's Royal Rumble has been around for a lot longer than the women.
Absolutely.
So the opportunity's been there a lot more.
No, that's right.
Now, obviously, so we've got to look at the Women's Elimination Chamber. Whoever wins that is going to face whoever Charlotte doesn't pick. That's why, obviously, we're talking about this. Now, again, I think I really think Chelsea Green should be defending her title at Elimination Chamber. I don't think she should be a part of Elimination Chamber to go for the
world title.
No, I just don't think that should happen. So that's the women's side of it. Now we're looking at the men. And first of all, can I just say I'm so looking forward to the qualifying match on next week's SmackDown with Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman, and is it Damian Priest? I'm so looking forward to that. I personally love all three of these wrestlers. I think they all have massive potential. I think they're all really great wrestlers. They all bring something unique in their own way. I am actually rooting for Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
I want to see him win.
I'd like to see him in the chamber. I think that'd
100%.
be awesome. I think that'd be awesome.
I think that this man is so very impressive. It's crazy. I think that's what Triple H has given him, this push. It's so good.
Absolutely.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. To be honest, do I think Jacob Fatu's going to win? I'm not too sure, but I would like to see it.
I think it'd be him or Damian Priest.
You don't think Braun's going to get it?
No, I don't think Braun will win.
I like Braun Strowman.
I think
he's a good wrestler, but he's such a big guy. I think when I say a good wrestler, like he's pretty entertaining to watch for such a large dude.
Yeah,
most dudes of his size, his height, plus the bulk behind him, can't do a lot.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah,
and we've seen him do some impressive things, like him against Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
They legitimately tore the ring down together. Because they're just both big, massive dudes.
Yeah.
So I do personally like Braun Strowman. I am a fan. But when we look at Braun Strowman, we see, we look at the histories of Braun Strowman's, like Kane, for example. Kane's one of those wrestlers. He's like 7 feet tall, pretty solid dude. Never really been that impressive in the ring. Like, they do big choke slams and those type of things.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying there. Like, do you know what I mean? When you say he's just such a big dude, it kind of...
I think it's hard in wrestling, because you can be too small or too big. You sort of have to be that.
But you can be that exception.
No, you
because
can.
look at Undertaker. He's a big dude.
Yeah, well,
very tall.
Kane,
and he's that exception.
Big Show have all won world titles, all three of them.
Yeah, but I feel like Undertaker's probably one of the more impressive out of the three names you just mentioned.
Those two aren't even in the Undertaker's ball.
No way. No way. And do you know what I mean? Like, and then if we look at Rey Mysterio on the other end of the scale,
he's no world champion.
He's tiny. He's one of the smallest male wrestlers we've seen, and he's super impressive.
Yep.
He's actually very, very good.
Daniel Bryan's pretty short, and he was world champion.
But Ray's tiny.
Oh, Ray's
is
small.
Small.
Ray's super small.
He's so small.
Yeah.
But Ray, I think, really defied the odds.
He did.
He really, really did.
He really got that push when Eddie passed away. They really got behind him.
I'm glad they did, but
I think he deserved that.
I think he did. I think he did. When Eddie passed, that's really sad.
Yeah.
For anyone new, you're not going to know who Eddie Guerrero is, but if you're an old school wrestling fan, you know who Eddie Guerrero is, and rest in peace to Eddie Guerrero. Now, if you're new, you will notice that Dom and Liv come out and do the little shake and do those type of things. They're actually mocking Eddie Guerrero. That's what things that Eddie used to do. So, but like realistically, Dom actually loves Eddie Guerrero. Yeah. Even though on the show, he disrespects him. He loves Eddie Guerrero. He grew up with Eddie Guerrero. And if you don't know, go back and watch some old school wrestling and get a bit educated on who Eddie Guerrero is. And Ray did get that push after Eddie died. So there's been a lot of wrestlers, my dudes, that are no longer with us today, that have impacted wrestling in a big way. A big, huge way. Absolutely. And you will see a lot of today's wrestlers pay tribute to those wrestlers, whether it be in disrespect or out of love. It's there. So, so with the men, we've got Elimination Chamber. We obviously have John Cena. He's been around for a long time, my dudes. He earned that right to not have a qualifying match. A lot of people disappointed that John Cena didn't win the Royal Rumble. I think a lot of people expected that.
I think he'll win the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I think I think it's tricky because in the Elimination Chamber we have John Cena.
Yeah.
Did CM Punk just get in?
He
sure did. Because CM Punk versed.
Sami Zayn.
He did too on Raw.
Correct.
That's right. Sammy gave him a good match, but because CM Punk came out and said, "Sammy, you're not on my level," and CM Punk has been around a lot longer than Sami Zayn, to be fair.
I know. And Sami Zayn is
A
a good...
lot
I'll give it
longer.
to Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn's not a bad wrestler.
I don't think Sami
to be
Zayn
honest.
is anything wow factor.
I just don't think Sami Zayn is a world champion material.
No, look, I agree with... I've got to say I
definitely
agree.
think he's like intercontinental tag team champion. Like, and
He's a good mid-card.
And I, you know, I don't mind watching him like in the ring. Like, I don't think he's too bad. Yeah, he is. Like, he's a very mid-card dude. And CM Punk's not a mid-card dude. And that just...
But CM Punk his time is fading. Like, he is getting older. And I've got to say, I've never been a huge CM Punk fan. Like, you know this. I like him more nowadays than I did back in... I really didn't like him back in the day. When he'd come out and he'd talk a lot about, you know, he's drug-free for all this stuff and all those things. Like, I get what you're doing there. But I was just never a fan of CM Punk in those days.
Yeah.
That when he had the long black hair,
Yeah.
just didn't really like him back then. He's always cut entertaining promos.
Yeah,
Always.
Always good on the mic.
I think CM Punk's a lot better. I like him probably more now. I find him less antagonizing as he was back in the day.
Yeah.
But CM Punk, so we've got CM Punk, John Cena.
Drew McIntyre.
Yes, it was Drew McIntyre. Now, I actually, because that was a triple threat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Drew McIntyre versus
Jimmy.
Yes, Big Jim now.
Yeah, versus LA.
LA Knight. Now, I didn't think Jimmy was going to win that. I just really didn't. I'm glad they're giving Jimmy that push now, like they did Jay. Like, you know, he can break away. He's come out with a whole new persona. He's Big Jim now. I just didn't think that was, we're not going to see both the twins. Do you know what I mean?
Headline or something.
It's not going to happen.
No.
So I just didn't think that was going to happen. LA Knight, I didn't really think was going to take it. I was actually going for Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I think Drew McIntyre is a really good wrestler. I love Claymore. It's such a good move.
Yeah.
And
I think Drew McIntyre definitely deserves to be there.
Me too.
And in the
Me too.
Elimination Chamber. But what I will say is he had his chance last year and he beat Seth Rollins in the
I
main
know he
event
did.
of the
I know he
first
did.
night, remember?
I know.
Oh, no, I can't remember what it was.
he won, but he was dicking
you know,
around
that's
and it allowed Damian Priest to cash in
Mm-hmm.
and steal the title because he was gloating and he was focusing too much on CM Punk.
That's
Putting
exactly
way
right.
too much of his energy there.
Exactly.
But this is the second time he has.
Okay.
Remember,
Drew
he
McIntyre.
won during COVID, so
Yeah.
there was no audience there.
No, he beat Brock Lesnar, I think.
Yeah, and
yeah.
so, but Drew is a really good wrestler.
Yeah,
I
he's a
do
good
really
wrestler.
like Drew, but I understand what you're saying.
I don't think
he's going to win.
the
I'm
Chamber,
sorry, I
no.
don't think so either.
No.
But just touching on Drew, I actually think that Drew cuts really good promos,
No, he
especially
does.
as a heel.
He does.
And I know we're seeing Drew like kind of, you know, what did he come out and call him? Drew McIntyre. Was that LA Knight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is sucking a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is. But I think if you know Drew from back in the day, wow. What a transformation Drew McIntyre has made.
Absolutely.
And what a comeback Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre has made.
Yeah.
Go watch some old wrestling, my dudes, and have a look at young Drew McIntyre.
And I think Drew McIntyre's always been a good wrestler. Like even back then, like I didn't mind
Yeah,
him back then.
I think the
thought he
persona change helped.
But that's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
just the way he just changed everything. You
I
know
think
what
he
mean?
needed that.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
Some
I think,
wrestlers need to go back and
It's
look
crazy.
at the
It's crazy.
drawing board, like Cody Rhodes, for example.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we've seen Cody Rhodes
He
with
did the
many
same
different
thing.
people. Like, I think his worst persona I've ever seen was Stardust.
Agreed.
Like when he like tried to be like his brother Goldust.
Agreed.
And I know that's when he says he tries to forget. And I actually quite often remember this one because it was one of his worst personas I've ever seen. And unfortunately, we tend to remember one of the worst. But I feel like Cody Rhodes, The American Nightmare, is one of the best we have ever seen.
Of course.
And
Definitely
Cody Rhodes
best.
has gone through many. He's been like Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
There was when he was part of Legacy, and it was him and Ted DiBiase with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And if you watch Cody Rhodes in the ring, you can really see where a lot of things he learnt from Randy Orton.
Absolutely.
Especially in this, you know, because Randy actually told him he needed a new wrestling move, isn't that right? Wasn't he DDT? Wasn't that his finisher?
I think it was, yeah. I'm not sure if he started Crossroads before he started with Randy. Like just before it.
Yeah.
Can't quite remember. But it was around that time he started doing it. So I'm not sure if Randy had like something to do with that or I don't really know. But I think Crossroads is a cool
I was just about to say that. I think Crossroads is good. And I do like that he does tribute to his father, Dusty.
Yeah, yeah.
By doing that move, you know, the one where he lays down and then hits him like, do you know what I mean? Like smacks him in the face.
Yeah.
And that's a good one because that's tribute to his father, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, and maybe the Cody cut is a bit of a tribute to Randy. Maybe that's why he does that. You
Could
know what I mean?
be,
Because
could
Randy
be.
taught him a lot.
I
You know
think
what I mean?
Crossroads is one of his better moves.
Crossroads is awesome. It's probably his
Yeah,
best move.
yeah.
You know
I think
what
it's one of his best
mean?
moves, to be honest.
I think
Personally,
it is his best move. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I think it's cool.
It is cool, but I feel like we're saying, like the reason some wrestlers do have to go back to the drawing board and be like, well, who am I going to be?
Yeah.
Because their first persona or the first 6 personas might not work.
That's right.
Do you know what I'm saying? It might not
Exactly.
happen for them. So
Exactly.
they've really got to find that one. And Drew McIntyre's found it with this dude, this version of Drew McIntyre, and so has Cody Rhodes with the American Nightmare.
That's right.
Okay, so yeah, we've got Drew McIntyre, which means obviously we've got Jacob Fatu, who potentially, and Jacob Fatu versus Damian Priest versus Braun Strowman. So one of them 3 is going to be in it, in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Seth versus Finn.
Seth versus Finn. Oh my God, Seth is going to beat Finn Balor. 100% Seth is going to win. Seth Rollins beats Finn Balor and he's in. We already know how juicy that's going to be.
Yeah.
But you got to think too, Drew McIntyre hates CM Punk.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins hates CM Punk. That's interesting. John Cena's probably the only kind of neutral dude here that doesn't really give a fuck. Like, he doesn't hate anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just hang on,
So
but
Moron,
why?
Moron will be in it. Logan Paul.
Well, why them two? Just because, look, I love Ray, but
I love Ray
Ray's,
too, but
that's what happened.
Ray's so done, and
Oh,
neither of
man.
them even deserve to be in a qualifying.
That's not going to happen. And why Logan Paul? Are you kidding me? But I do think CM Punk's going to give it to Logan Paul. Oh my God. So maybe that's why.
Like I said,
perhaps a little bit of a revenge.
I personally hope Logan Paul ends up in there and face to face with Jacob Fatu.
Jacob Fatu would kill him.
That'd be great.
Oh my God, he would kill him. Look, Logan Paul for me is someone that he couldn't really cut it as a pro boxer, and he's not quite cutting it as a wrestler.
Mm-mm.
Maybe take your money somewhere
Triple
else.
H, this whole, like, I'm sick of this whole, he just is not here for 6 months and comes in and now he's got a chance to have a world title opportunity at WrestleMania. Like,
Money. The money talks because he's rich. But also he actually played it quite smart, I think, Logan, because he got Prime as one of the main sponsors of wrestling now, which he owns Prime. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He brings in lots of views and a different crowd from the YouTube world, and I think Triple H likes that. But I get it. I don't like the fact that we have wrestlers that have been here forever that work their asses off for Triple H, that, you know, have been around for a long time that don't get the pull that Logan Paul gets. It's like, my dudes, you get mad when The Rock comes back and just does whatever he wants because he now has ownership in wrestling. But, you know, The Rock has been around for a very long time. And back in the Attitude Era, he was a big face in wrestling and he was there every single week. Yep. He was one of those champs you've seen constantly. He'd always defend his title. Right. So, like, you know, like when we talk about these things, like I know, yeah, he sort of had no right to come in and step and rain all over Cody Rhodes' parade and try and steal that storyline from him. But if that makes you mad, then it should definitely make you mad with Logan Paul getting all this, you know, oh yeah, your qualifying match for Elimination Chamber, yeah, you're going to get it. Do you know what I mean? We've got you in Royal Rumble. I'll be hella surprised if Logan loses against Ray.
I will be too.
But if that does happen, I definitely can't see Ray as being someone who wins Elimination Chamber.
No.
So we've got obviously Ray and Logan. Who else do we have?
Seth and Finn, and then the triple threat match in SmackDown. That you
of course, said. Yeah, that's the 3 matches. Yeah. Because I suppose I forgot John Cena is just in it.
Yeah.
He didn't need to have it. There's no need for another qualifying match.
No.
So yeah, Roman's not going to be in it. So what about the future of Roman Reigns then?
I think he'd be at Elimination Chamber to take out Seth Rollins.
Because there has been talks that they want to see Seth and Roman, like the storyline here. Mm-hmm. Especially because they were together in The Shield. They have a history.
Absolutely.
Quite a long history, these two. And you can kind of see the build-up there for Roman Reigns and Seth's story when they had the new bloodline versus the old bloodline. Yeah. And Seth wouldn't, he's like, nah, I'm not for this man. Like, he really didn't want a bar of Roman.
No, that's all right. I think if CM Punk doesn't win the Elimination Chamber, I think he could get involved as well. So
this is what I was getting at. When you said you think John Cena's going to win, I actually think that maybe CM Punk might win because this is technically he has never main evented at WrestleMania. Never. He obviously never won a Royal Rumble, and that ship sailed for this year at least. Maybe this is his year at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And this would be interesting. If he does win, obviously he's going to go against whoever Jay doesn't pick. Now, do you remember the promo when CM Punk came out and said to Cody Rhodes that I'm not going to stab you in the back, I'm going to stab you in the front and tell you I'm coming for your title?
Yeah.
Now that's interesting because we have not seen any of CM Punk and Gunther really not like that.
He'd pick Cody if he won.
100% he's going to pick Cody.
Even if Jay had made, I know Jay has to make a decision by then, but even if he hadn't, I know for a fact CM Punk would pick Cody.
Oh my God. Yes. And that promo definitely opened that up. And I think CM Punk versus Cody, could be a good match.
Could be.
It could be a good match. Cody versus John Cena. What do you think?
Sounds a bit sour, I think.
Look, I just think I respect John Cena as a wrestler. I really, really do. He's been around for a very long time. But can he bring that fire that we need in a WrestleMania match?
I know what you mean. I love John Cena too, and I think he deserves, anything they want to give him, but there's a point. And there's, we've discussed before, they get to a certain age and they just can't do it like they used to do it. And it's is John Cena, has he missed that opportunity to come back? Have they left it too late because of, how old he is now and things like that? I think it'd be awesome to see him win a 17th world title, to break that record, but...
Yeah. Has that ship sailed for him now too?
Has it.
I get what you're saying, and he held up that sign at Royal Rumble that said, this could be the last time. Yeah. It's now or it's not happening.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I find interesting because apparently John Cena gave the okay to step down for Jay to win.
Yeah.
Apparently it was John Cena's idea that Jay, well not idea, but that Jay should win. He was for this. Why would John Cena want to do that if he knew how badly he wants to headline at WrestleMania?
Because he knows he's going to win the Elimination Chamber.
There you go. Very, very, very true.
I think he'll win the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I
think he'll go on and beat Cody at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, look, I think Cody's going to lose at WrestleMania. I have to say, I think Cody's reign is done. I think Gunther's going to lose at WrestleMania. I think we're going to see a new champ.
I think we will too. And I just think that, well, I think Cody actually has got a few injuries, and I think he needs to go and have a little bit of time off and get things sorted, legitly. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been a while. I think there'll be both new champions at WrestleMania.
I think there will be with the men's. With the women's, I think, I think Rhea's going to drop the title too.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to carry it
Yeah.
any further. Tiffy's a bit hard to call.
No, it is.
Because she just got it. Do I think Tiffy's going to lose it this soon? I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't think so, which is why I think it's going to be Charlotte versus Rhea.
Yeah.
So whoever fights...
See, I personally think Charlotte might pick Tiffy.
You do?
Yeah.
You think she'll take that loss?
Who?
Charlotte. I just don't know if he's going to strip Tiffy just yet.
Yeah.
But he could, because we haven't really seen Tiffy defend this title at all.
I think she would take that loss.
For a new person?
Charlotte,
I think she potentially would, but don't we want to know who the best is out of her and Rhea?
Absolutely. I agree. And I think we'll see that again down the track. But I think for now, wrestling works in a funny way. Like you're just saying with the John Cena thing, he gave Jay that chance and said, I think Jay should win the Royal Rumble, and now there's probably a good chance that because of that, they're like, well, you can win the Elimination Chamber. And for all we know, they could have said to Charlotte Flair, all right, you're coming back, but if you want to win the Royal Rumble when you come back, you can't win at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
You have to take the loss at WrestleMania if you want to win the Royal Rumble and break that record.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? So, I think they maybe would do it like that sometimes, if you want to do this, we'll give you this. You know what I mean?
Well, if you think that John Cena's going to win the men's, who do you think's going to win the women's?
Bianca Belair.
I hope so.
I
really hope so,
And I
because
don't-
I actually
and-
think she's such a good wrestler.
And the
So
reason,
here we go then. So that means Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley.
yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, but
And I
that would
think-
be a good match.
And I personally
that
think
would be
that
a good
Bianca Belair
match.
will win because I don't think she's ever been women's world heavyweight champion. I
Oh,
think
really?
She's only ever been women's WWE champion.
Ah, okay. Bianca Belair is, like, for me, I think she would be the perfect person to take this title from Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I think she's the strongest female wrestler we have.
Yeah.
She is so very strong. And I actually think she has, like, you know, she's a baby face.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Bianca
She's always
Belair.
a baby face.
She's a baby face.
Yeah.
She's not a heel.
No.
And yeah, I definitely, so that means we'd have like maybe Tiffy retaining, Rhea dropping.
Yeah.
And look, I think Bianca Belair would be perfect for that position. I don't think it's going to be any, like, it's not going to be Alexa Bliss.
No,
There's no chance it's going to happen. She's not going to win.
No.
And it's definitely not going
I think
to be.
Liv Morgan, just because she's had the title
It's
for
not going to be
for
Liv
ages,
Morgan.
you know what I mean? I don't think she's going to win either.
I think maybe Liv Morgan's time might come next year, maybe Royal Rumble. Because she hasn't, she does so well.
Yeah.
She comes in at number 2 and lasts a long
Apparently,
time.
lasted over an hour.
Yeah.
Io's awesome.
I love Io. I'm actually really disappointed that she did lose and that it was because of Rhea. But is that potentially opening something up there too?
Possibly.
Oh my god. What if Io cost Rhea the title at WrestleMania?
I don't think she'd do that. She could, but I don't think Io would do that.
Well, you never know, but because look at how Io and all that went towards Bayley in Damage Control.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look at that.
Speaking of costing titles, I was just thinking actually, Charlotte Flair and Tiffy, what if they make out that Charlotte Flair was the person that attacked Jade Cargill?
Charlotte Flair, does that make sense?
Well, they said they were the names that were being tossed up was Naomi, obviously, Bianca Belair, obviously, because they're, you know, the tag champions. But Charlotte Flair's name was being tossed up as well. And I'm pretty sure the other week I read that they were down to 2 people they were deciding out of who to pin it on, basically.
Yeah.
But I just think, like, I think they were saying, like, if it was Charlotte Flair, it'd be just like it's just to prove she's back, you know, like she's still big and strong and doesn't really give a shit who you are type deal.
Okay. I just don't know if that really makes sense. I feel like it makes more sense that it would be Naomi.
Yeah, no,
she stole
I agree.
her place.
Like, storyline wise, I agree that would make more sense. But if they do make it out to be Charlotte Flair, costing titles, saying like maybe she could come back at WrestleMania and cost Charlotte Flair the title.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
We will have to wait and see. I think, like I said, I feel like, again, we've got a really juicy road to WrestleMania with the men's.
Yeah.
The women's is, like, it's going to be good, but I just don't feel like the story as the leads here are not as captivating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't think one of the... Yeah, I know what you mean. I agree.
Do you know what I mean? And I know what you're saying, like, Charlotte Flair to be the one to do that to, like, because she's the queen and she keeps being like, no one's better than me. I just don't know if that really works there, because I feel like, why Jade Cargill?
Yeah.
Why would she attack?
I think it's a bit of a waste too, personally. I think like Naomi makes more sense.
100%.
Even Bianca Belair makes more sense. You know what I mean?
Well, especially if we look at those when they turn around and said that apparently Bianca Belair come out and said she didn't want to carry, when we've said this before, she didn't, you know, she's sick of carrying Jade Cargill and all those type of things. I just don't know if she would say that.
Yeah.
And if she did, it was definitely for the purpose of this storyline.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
If she doesn't want to carry Jade Cargill, why would she carry Naomi?
Oh, well, very good point. And Naomi's not new.
No.
Jade is, so...
Bianca Belair's an awesome wrestler. She don't need to be any tag team.
I agree. I think putting her in a tag team is wasting her.
Absolutely.
It's wasting her talent and her ability.
I think that's the only way to make her still pretty relevant and important when she's not a world champion. I think that's why they do that with her, because she's so good.
Yeah, 100%.
She is so impressive. She
is.
has to be a champion of some sort. And personally, if she wasn't a tag champion, she could definitely be like Women United States champion easily. Intercontinental Women's Champion.
Oh, man. I think she's above Intercontinental.
I think she's above that.
Sorry.
That's mid-card stuff. And I think
she's so above
I don't think
that.
she's way above Laura Valkyria or Chelsea Green. Like, and they're both the champions. You know what I mean?
They're not on Bianca Belair's level. They are not on her level.
Way.
I don't think many wrestlers touch Bianca Belair's level. She's so impressive to watch.
Awesome.
That woman is, very few women are like her
Absolutely.
in the wrestling industry today,
No,
even
I agree.
ever, if I could
agree.
say.
No, you're right.
She's just, I remember the first time I seen her wrestle, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this woman's amazing. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I think one of the sort of first times I really noticed her might have been a Royal Rumble, actually.
Yeah,
and I was just like, this woman is insane.
She's awesome.
Just the sheer strength of her is something that wow,
It's
like
crazy.
you rarely see in women. It's impressive.
It is.
It's really impressive. So I guess we've got a bit to look forward to, my dudes. I'm definitely looking forward to SmackDown. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Like, I cannot wait to see that match. Obviously, we've got coming up on Raw, we have Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor.
Yeah.
So that's something that's going to be pretty juicy. We want to look out for that. SmackDown, the triple threat match between Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest, and Braun Strowman. So that should be pretty good. Before we bring out a few of our little special guests who have been begging to be seen on the podcast, there's been some changes in wrestling and some faces we won't see again. So, Triple H has axed Sonya Deville, and we only just seen her like last week on Raw.
Was she in the Royal Rumble?
She was.
Yeah.
She was in the Royal Rumble. She's done.
Yeah.
They've given her the cut.
Yeah.
Who else is gone?
Was AOP, the two big guys with Karrion Kross?
Yes, they're done. Yes.
And the old guy with Karrion Kross?
Another one. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Cedric Alexander, he was like a cruiserweight dude.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently he'd been there for like 8.5 years.
Oh, and Ludwig's.
Yeah, Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, the guy who used to come up with Ludwig Kaiser.
Yep, bald.
He's done. We haven't seen him around for a while, actually, so I'm not
He
surprised.
went to SmackDown and had like one match.
Oh, wow.
He got beaten in about 4 seconds.
You know, just speaking of Triple H doing some cuts here, one person I've got to say I was really disappointed that he cut.
Dolph Ziggler.
Oh my God. Why? Why Dolph Ziggler? Like, are you kidding me? I like Dolph Ziggler. Yes, I know he came out kind of being a little bit like Mr. Ass, you know, like, but I just feel like, I don't know, do you think he was too much like Billy Gunn and that's why he said see you later?
I don't know.
Because Billy Gunn used to work with Triple H as well in part of DX a long time ago. But I just think Dolph Ziggler is a good wrestler. And, like, I always enjoyed watching Dolph Ziggler.
I just think Triple H always thought he was a mid-card dude.
Dolph Ziggler, like Billy Gunn. Because that was pretty much Billy Gunn outside of DX. He was never really anything without DX, to be fair. But I actually think Dolph Ziggler is a good wrestler. I like Dolph Ziggler. I think that was a really crappy move. And I would like to see more of him.
No, that's right.
I think he deserves to be on the WWE roster.
No, that's right.
I really, really do. So, okay, my dudes, we're going to bring in our little special guest for you today. And they're going to have their predictions for you before we wrap this one up. Okay, my tiny dudes, welcome to What's the SmackDown. This is Shia, this is Willow, and this is Bailey. And they have been asking to be on a podcast of ours for a little while now. Okay, dudes, so we've just been discussing what we think is going to happen in Elimination Chamber. Okay, so Elimination Chamber, the women's. So far, who do we have in it, my dudes? Do you guys remember?
Yeah. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and who was it? What's her name again? Candice LeRae?
No. She beat Candice LeRae.
Alexa Bliss.
There you go. Now, there's a 3 in it, and we still have how many more people to go?
3 more.
There you go. Now, the matches to come.
Yeah.
It is Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria. Who do you think's going to win? Bailey.
Yeah.
So that would fill up another place. And then we also have Chelsea Green versus, who's she against?
Naomi.
Who do you think's going to win that one, dudes?
Chelsea Green.
Oh, you think Chelsea Green? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try Chelsea Green.
Okay. And the last qualifying women's match, do we know that one yet?
I don't think so.
Alright, so let's see. Out of these, you think Raquel's going to be in the last qualifying match? That's an interesting call. So who do we think, my dudes, if they do win, who do you think out of these women so far could win the whole Elimination Chamber?
Who's in it?
Bianca Belair.
That's who we think, buddy. Bianca Belair.
Either her or Alexa Bliss.
Oh, you think Alexa Bliss? That's interesting.
I think Bianca Belair or Alexa Bliss because the crowd's like
Cause
after
Mom.
Alexa Bliss.
So I could give it to Bianca. Naomi could take their titles away and live on her with the titles.
Pretty
Well,
true.
we think that could happen, but we think that Bianca Belair is going to face potentially Rhea Ripley in WrestleMania.
Oh, so Bianca Belair might win.
I personally think that Rhea Ripley is going to lose her title no matter who she faces.
Yeah.
Tiffy, I'm not too sure what I think Tiffy might retain.
I reckon Charlotte Flair will go for Rhea's title.
Do you think so? You think maybe a best out of 3?
Because they have like a rivalry. Yeah,
They
they
do.
had a rivalry at 2023 WrestleMania. And then Charlotte Flair lost.
Yes,
Right, buddy.
Yeah.
that's right.
I know the whole thing because I watched it.
We know.
I love you, honey.
Good boy.
Okay, so that's the women's. Now what about the men's? So with the men's, we have... So who's in the men's already? Do you remember?
I know. Drew McIntyre?
Yes, he's one of them.
It's pretty hard, Mum.
Well,
Someone won on Raw this week.
yes,
Beat Sami Zayn. Who
don't
was
you
it?
remember?
To qualify.
CM Punk.
There you
Correct.
go, Willie.
Good
CM
boy,
Punk,
yeah.
John
Very
Cena.
good.
Yes,
There you go, John Cena. So there's a 3 now. We know about the next 3 matches to come, okay? And we know we've got a triple threat match with Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest, and Braun Strowman.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Who do you think's going to win that one?
Braun Strowman.
Oh, you think Braun Strowman? Interesting.
I think Jacob Fatu.
I think Jacob Fatu.
What if Randy Orton comes back out of Elimination Chamber?
Well, see, Randy Orton, so he's not in a qualifying match. We haven't seen anything from Randy just yet. Not yet, but I know. We're looking forward to seeing Randy. So, my dudes, with the men's one,
Yeah.
who do you think's going to win that one?
John Cena.
You think they're going to give it to John?
I think John's ending, so Drew McIntyre.
Oh, you think Drew again?
John Cena wins everything, like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania.
Jay won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Jay did win the Royal Rumble.
You mean he used to always win everything
Yeah. And I think
because he's been around? I don't think Drew McIntyre's going to get it again because he's already won twice at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was at WrestleMania last year, buddy. Remember?
I reckon if Seth comes in, I reckon he's going to win.
Oh, you think Seth? Seth freaking Rollins? I do like Seth, but I don't know if it's Seth's time again either. Okay, here's an interesting thing.
CM Punk.
If we don't know one of the final qualifying matches for the women, because do we? Does anyone remember?
No, there wasn't one.
So, what about, where's Becky Lynch?
Becky Lynch.
Where is Becky Lynch, my dudes? Do you think Becky Lynch could come back?
Yes, she could win it and come back.
Would you like to see Becky Lynch come back?
Yes, she has to come back. Yes. Becky, you have to come back.
Okay, my dudes. So, we've got some predictions. Are you looking forward to Raw and SmackDown?
Yes.
Yes, can't wait.
No, only
Yes, I
Raw.
can't wait until WrestleMania 41.
Oh, I can't wait for WrestleMania either. We've got to get through Elimination Chamber, and then the road to WrestleMania is even closer again. What are your predictions for what's going to happen at WrestleMania? Do you think Rhea will lose her title?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you think Rhea's going to lose? This is not a matter of hate. This is a matter of what we think. Okay, Rhea's going to lose. What about Tiffy? Do you think she's going to lose or retain?
Yeah.
She's going to retain for a long
She
time.
retained. She's gonna retain. Well, she
Yeah.
just got the title.
No, but Mum, people like Tiffy.
Yep, so retain. We all think retain?
I love Tiffy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about Cody Rhodes? What do we think?
Lose.
I agree.
Cody might
I think
lose.
he's going to lose.
No, he will. He will.
Well, he
CM
had
Punk.
that title since October.
Mum.
No.
Okay, and Gunther.
Lose to Jay.
Yes. Lose to Jay.
He's going to lose to Jay.
Yeah.
Okay, my dudes. Well, thank you for being on our podcast today, my dudes.
Yeah. Thanks. No worries.
Thanks for the wrestling, dudes.
Okay, bye.
Alright, see you, my dudes.
Bye,
Bye.
dudes.
Bye, my dudes.
Bye-bye.
Bye, my dudes. Okay, my dudes. Well, thank you for watching and joining us today. So I hope you're looking forward to what's to come. And let us know in the comments what you guys are predicting to happen. But until next week, my dudes, please take care and much love for now. Bye-bye.